Back Road Ministry, the world premiere. Hit you with a little new edition. Is this the end? Is this the end? Yes, it is. We have come to the final conclusion in this nightmare known as the Trump presidency. And one thing people should have learned from this, and I hope people take away from this, is stop voting for dumb people just because TV props them up and makes you and baits you into voting for these people. Stop it. This has been an embarrassment to the position of the presidency and to Americans as a whole. This did not have to take place. We didn't have to vote for Trump. Basically, you were suckered into voting for Trump to pass another agenda, and that is the first woman president. And everybody ate it up. We could have just voted for a woman president. Why do we go through all this foolishness? But this is how America likes to do it. Likes to do it. People get baited all the time to do something stupid. They do it, and then here we go. Instead of handling important issues in the country, where every 5 and 10 minutes inside a scandal, why we always say they're passing another bill that's going to screw over you or not. So why all this Omahosa and Donald and Cohen stuff and Mueller stuff has been going on? The Congress just passed another war bill. They just passed all that money they were trying to give to the military in the defense spending bill. Nobody talked about how much was passed in that defense spending bill and where all the money's going. But they passed that bill while they were using Omahosa and Cohen and Mueller and any other patsy they could throw in front of the TV cameras to deflect people and throw their mind off of what actually they were trying to do. So their agenda has been passed, military spending bill has been passed while they had the distractions going. And that was last week. So this is how they operate. This is how the elite operate. They give you reality TV to cover up their true agenda, which is getting ready for World War III and passing that big defense spending bill. That's all the plan was the whole time. So that's how they do it. So the end of Trump, we see the dry snitching beginning. We seeing the campaign manager being indicted, 8 counts by the numbers on that day. All this is tying into Watergate. If you do your research on Watergate, do your gematria on Watergate, excuse me, and all your numerology, all these numbers are starting to tie up to Watergate and how Watergate went down, with how the scandal finally broke and how everything finally ended. Will Trump be impeached? They're going to try to impeach him, but he probably will resign. I think it was Mark Cuban that said a long time ago that Trump will make more money leaving office early than he will being the president. He's going to make more money getting thrown out of office, basically having to leave, than being the president. So that's something to watch in this script. Him basically resigning the position, writing a couple of books, going on TV, making a mockery of the country, which, you know, a bunch of dumb ass Americans voted for anyway. So you get what you pay for. But we see kind of this story churning. We said certain people were dry snitching. We knew Cohen had been positioned to be a dry snitch. Cohen is caught up in a lot of stuff as far as with this plot. And one plot that he's caught up in that has just been brought to light was this whole thing with Uber. And if you saw my 2-part series on Uber versus the city of New York, you see that Uber can't hire additional drivers for a year. Well, it just so happens, if you research this Cohen story, that Cohen is now being tied into medallion sales in the city of New York. And I talked about medallions. Basically, that's like having a taxi cab franchise. You have to pay so much to have it as a medallion to have a franchise as far as a taxi cab. So Cohen's been caught up in this with this taxi cab commission, doing underhanded things to get people medallions, or making sure that only certain people get medallions. This was all staged. This was staged because the taxi cab commission is owned by certain people, and certain people are trying to get this commission, this very powerful commission, out of the way. So things like Uber can take over. Uber's going to take over New York. Uber's going to run the cab companies in New York. Basically, if it's not Uber, it'll be the technology that be in the vehicles, but Uber's going to have some say in how transportation is kind of operated in the city of New York. Some things they're trying to privatize. So a lot of things they're trying to privatize. Uber, which has their hand in delivery services now, through the restaurants, they're making their move, and they want those cabs, and they're going to get them now, thanks to Mr. Cohen, who's going to end up dry snitching on very powerful people in the taxi cab commission, add them to the Mueller case, and get them out the way. At the end of the day, Uber wins. Basically, staged for the whole Uber takeover of the taxi cab commission and the New York taxi cab services as a whole. So Cohen implemented in that. Then, of course, now he's dry snitching on everything Donald Trump has done, as though this was a mystery. We knew Cohen was the plant to dry snitch. We knew Omarosa was going to play her part and do her little bit. She was the tape girl, all staged and scripted propaganda BS to, basically get the American people in the uproar, deflect them, distract them even more, so they can pass a bunch of other bogus bills. And I always tell people, when this stuff is going on, start looking at the Senate website. Look at the bills that are up to be passed. Like I say, they just passed the defense spending bill. So this is how they distract you with one thing while they're doing something else. I think it was a lot going on when Barack Obama passed the gay marriage bill. Nobody even knew the bill passed. They woke up the next day, gay marriage was the law of the land. This is how they do it. They distract people, and then they pass their bills, especially when they don't want you to argue about the bills. And we got the tax bill that still hasn't been ratified, still got kinks in it, but then they're passing a $1 billion defense spending bill. And they don't want you to say anything about it, so they give you entertainment. Are you not entertained? They give you Cohen and Mueller and all this foolishness to pretty much distract you from what they're really trying to do. So the distraction continues. Cohen now is about to dry snitch, and Trump is about to resign. He's not going to make it to 2020. The whole 2020 thing was just a prop. It was just a prop in the rules to get people excited, to get buffoons really believing that Trump was going to survive to 2020, and everybody, and then they already put out the signs. It's like a movie trailer. They already told you Trump's not going to be there in 2020. You got everybody saying in 2020, well, I'm running for president. Well, maybe I can run. How is this even possible? Remember now, we said you got to be in the bloodline to be the president of the United States. But now all of a sudden the elite is saying anybody can run for president. So what rule is going to change from now to 2020 that's going to make that happen? Remember, Kanye West has said he's going to run for office. There has to be something that's about to be changed, and the trailer keeps showing us this. And before the 2020 election, which is going to make it possible for multiple people or anybody basically to run for president. Now, can anybody win? No. The elite are not going to let anybody rule. They still going to have something in place where they still keep ultimate power. But it's kind of funny with this trailer of Oprah 1 minute might be running for president. Kanye might be running. How is this even possible? How is this even possible unless there's no party system by 2020? Meaning that 2019 is going to be one of the worst years in American history. By just what we see off the trailer. 2019, right now, heading into 2020, is going to be one of the worst years in American history. It's going to be one of the worst. I don't want to sound, like a nightmare, but, I think it's going to be one of the worst years in American history. I think it's going to be a very, very, very bad year that's going to spark so much outrage that people are going to want things to change. But this is the way that the elite operate. This has always been their mission. We talk about the Order Out of Chaos Committee. That's what they are. They are the true Order Out of Chaos Committee. They cause a bunch of chaos, then they come with this invisible order. That's what they do. So let's see what chaos they have planned for 2019. And there's a lot of chaos. If the trailer is reading, anybody can run for president. So let's really pay attention. But we're at the end of Trump. Don't be fooled with the 2020 BS. Trump is not running for president. If he is, I'll be surprised. But my opinion, like I said, it's opinion orientated. I don't think Trump will be around by 2020. I think pretty much, he's pretty much done at this point. He's pretty much done at this point. He'll go resign his position. And I think we'll get the true nightmare, which is Pence. Mr. Motley, Back Row Ministry, peace and hair grease. Be safe and be aware.